Ladies and gentlemen, an interim budget, vote on account, however you want to term it, is on the anvil. We know that a large part of our budgetary conversations, for obvious reasons, are consumed by the very immediate minutiae. So we will spend the large part of the next 24 hours discussing whether a small cess payment or some states changing their VAT post tomorrow impacted fuel prices. Affects every single human being in this country. Whether there was some tax relief for the middle class, whether the corporate taxes were done, whether the import duty from gold went from 15% to 13%. All these minutiae, getting the devil in the detail, industry-wise, sector-wise, where a percentage point is the difference between making a profit or a loss, are important. So while this is a part of the budgetary conversation, there has to be a longer gestation vision which must happen. Because while we are consumed by the day-to-day reality of our lives, for me, for you, what you did today, what your plans tomorrow, you have to have a vision for where you're heading as individuals, as businesses, as corporate houses, and as a country. So as part of this special series, we're doing 4 special telecasts, starting with this one. In episode 1, we're taking on AI, artificial intelligence. Honestly, we don't know what the use cases will be. The primary issue with AI as blockchain before this is one of concern. Imagine in the online wars that are already taking place at a cyber scale in strategic sectors by nation states and their cyber armies. Imagine when the deep fakes get unleashed. What will we do? So here's the premise, ladies and gentlemen. AI, for the better part of our understanding or not understanding, is a technology whose use case, direct benefit to you and me is yet to be discovered. We are seeing the first snippets of consumer level interaction from all the research that has been going on. But we can easily predict that it is going to be a powerful event in the scope of humanity. Good, bad, and ugly, we will be better placed to handle it, benefit from it, and safeguard ourselves if it is homegrown. So let's take on this telecast and let us put some facts together. Simple, basic, back of the envelope logics on creating an AI plan for India. Let's put it up on our screens and then I'm going to introduce our guests. Jayajit Bhattacharya joining us on the broadcast. Ansh Mehra is with us, and Hariom Seth, who's running a company called Tag Labs, is with us on the broadcast as well. But let's start with point number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, if we want, and can we slow this down so I can take it point by point, please? Okay. If we want to be at the front line of machine learning, we have to be able to be processing the billions of requests per day, per hour, maybe per minute. We need to be able to have the computing power for these machine learning algorithms to process, parse their huge, humongous, billions of data point data sets. For that, we need to have a supercomputing nerve center in India. Okay? Currently, India's fastest supercomputer ranks 75th in the world. Pretty much every country in North America, in Europe, Finland, Italy, all have better supercomputing powers than us. So I'm breaking this down into constituent parts. If you have the supercomputing ability, which is an infrastructure and will become a core infrastructure requirement, then you get the research scholars, the commercial interests who can then rent out, lease out, borrow that supercomputing capacity in those clusters, and then you attract the talent and the companies working. So supercomputing needs to be looked at as a core infrastructure. Let's move on to the second point. from the manufacturing base, as we go ahead, the traditional definition of the CPU, which has made modern day computers, is now seeing an evolution of AI-specific semiconductor fabrication. Okay? Perhaps the GPUs, similar to what benefited the blockchain and crypto industries, but beyond that, international companies, Samsung being one of them now, are out integrating AI-specific designed fabricated modules into their devices. So as we now step forward into our semiconductor manufacturing, which is yet to start, but the inclination and the PLIs are in place, there has to be a space for the AI-specific manufacturing and a policy for that. You have to have the vision of creating the largest AI-specific R&D facilities in India. We are far behind to the Americans and the Chinese on this. I am going to posit that an AI, or the world's first and biggest AI dedicated university, can be set up here. The fourth suggestion, because all of this, as we've been long known, for all the people who are talking about data is the new gold, data is the new gold, data is the new gold, well, here you have it. Now you know why data was the new gold, okay, or the new oil. 1.4 billion Indians producing countless petabytes of data every month, okay? A lot of it going into repositories of global conglomerates. Now I want you to think about somebody who wants to do an AI startup. Can be any of my panelists here, can be any of you watching the broadcast. You can't do the AI startup if you do not have humongous data sets. It helps if you have 30, 40 years of Google's data set. It helps if you're running ChatGPT to have Microsoft's data set, where 3 out of 4 computers in the world are still running Microsoft Windows. And it helps having access at least to these anonymized data sets. So we need to set up a data repository that gives startups and other corporates and other people working on AI huge scales of data to train their algorithms. Okay? So a data repository, the Indian data repository, you can change the name, but you need this to happen. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have to set up, and I'm calling it the AI Mitra program, AIM. This is you and me as volunteers, because like it or not, every time you have gone and selected I am not a robo, or you've deciphered some text from a grainy image, you've been contributing human oversight into AI machine learning. Okay? So there might be some of us, perhaps tens of us, perhaps thousands of us, perhaps billions of us, who would voluntarily take part in AI training programs. Why not give us the opportunity to do so by providing us a suite of apps where we can contribute human intelligence from which AI runs. Eventually, even with a 80%, 90% accuracy rate, the AI algorithms need a human to identify what is an apple and what is a banana. Maybe we can all chip in and do it on a volunteer basis. Amount of times we spend flicking through, I don't know, Instagram reels and flicking through various games on our phones. Maybe some of it can go, or it can be gamified. Okay, I'm just putting up some thoughts out there. Point 6 of 7. On the model of Gift City, perhaps in Gift City itself, okay, you need an AI city where these global HQs can set up office. That's just a reality, pragmatic reality of life. And number 7, why don't we stay ahead of the curve? We're going to see a new government formation one way or the other in 3-4 months. We are not understanding the scale of what is about to happen, and we need to stay ahead of the curve. Rather than figuring out regulation, management later on, let us set up the AI ministry now in the next 3 or 4 months and get ready for it. Okay? Now I'm going to put some information on your screens regarding the supercomputers, regarding the biggest AI players, regarding where the maximum AI research is going on.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.